Hi everyone, working problem here. I'm back. Today is 6th of October 2021. It is 3:32 a.m. here in Singapore, GMT +8. So Project Veritas recently threw up some very shocking videos or revelations that Pfizer scientists themselves admitted that natural immunity is better than vaccination. And so you can see here, so you can see the title, your COVID antibodies are better than the Pfizer vaccination, which I don't know what is so shocking about this. Of course, of course, your natural immunity, once you recover from COVID, is going to be better than a vaccine shot. That's 100% for sure. Why? Because the virus is not going to die on their own. The virus is not going to disappear from your body on their own. The when you catch COVID and you recover from it, is because your body fought it. They develop the antibodies that adapts to the COVID virus and able to take it down. On That means your body developed the weapons to defeat the virus on their own. So of course, your body is much more sophisticated than any vaccines, which is why it can develop this antibody and then defeat the virus. Thus is better than vaccination, that's for sure. The whole point of vaccination today, um we should already know by now that vaccination doesn't mean that you cannot catch COVID again, and vaccination doesn't mean that you cannot spread COVID either. Vaccination simply reduce the chance of you dying from COVID. That's all. So according to Singapore's data, I can show you. I wonder if it, in Singapore's data, vaccination have reduced the number of hospitalization percentage massively, massively through the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. It is not that it will prevent you from catching COVID. That's never the case. And people who get vaccination still can die from COVID if you have very bad pre-existing conditions, especially you are very old, like when you're past 80. So you can see let's find the data for you to see. This is the latest one, so you can see the date, 4th of October, which is the latest because now it's 3 a.m. So it was actually like the 5th of October just a few hours ago. So we can see, I believe that Singapore government actually have put something out. Da, 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 da. Okay, see, 61 have died, 31.1% is fully vaccinated, 98.9% are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated. So this is one data. And the people who die from, so you can see here, these are people who died. I can zoom in. So these are the people who died. You look at the colors. These are the dark rays. These are people that's above 70 years old. So none of them is below 40 years old. So the light blue one that died is actually 40 to 60 years old, and 61 to 70 years old is the light gray, which is this field. So you can see that the majority of people who die are still people who are really old. So this still confirms that what we already know since the past year, that the younger folks are less likely to die from COVID. However, that does not mean that you will not go into intensive care, because if you look at this intensive care data, you can see that the light blue and the dark blue is 19 to 39 years old. There are these people who are in intensive care unit, and those who need oxygen supplement, you can see that the numbers is much higher as well. But of course, you go by percentage, you can see that the people who are over 70 years old is the mass majority. And the moment you have oxygen supplement, you're gonna get long-term damage most of the time. My mother-in-law just passed away a few weeks ago from COVID complication. She did not die from COVID because by the time that she died, she was already tested negative for COVID, but her entire lung is gone. The capacity for the lung is probably half or worse because in the complication during the complication she actually requires oxygen supplement, and her lung is so scarred that is, even if she did not die, she's going to have a very hard life. That's why even the part where you need oxygen supplement, this is concerning. Really, this you can just look at the death number and say, oh, it's so few people dying. Of course, in the UK, hundreds of people are dying because they just let go of the restriction. Singapore, we are still having quite strict restrictions for COVID. But if we look at the numbers, we have like 200 over a day requiring oxygen supplement, and these people is going to have lung damages. They are, even if they are very young, like those in the dark blue, they are going to have their lung capacity is going to drop. They are not going to be as fit as they are moving forward. I'm not sure if they can ever recover from it, but when they do exercise, they will start to feel that they have lesser breath, and this is reported widely. You can just search around. This is not some conspiracy theory, but this is the truth. As much as we think, I agree, COVID is not like influenza during the World War I period, where the death rate is way higher, or even SARS-1, where the death rate is almost 10%. But this is still concerning because who wants their life to be permanently, handicapped? And you can see this is hospitalization. I think this number is not going to go up anymore because Singapore has put in new regulations that if you catch COVID, you do not need to be hospitalized. You will rest at home unless you have a serious condition. So these numbers is no longer going to be meaningful moving forward. I'm more worried about these people. I don't have to worry about these people, they're dead. So let's see. I think they have a percentage regarding do they have regarding how many people actually is ICU that are vaccinated? Do they have that? Oh, yeah. Oh. They removed that data, so I can't really show you that now. But my understanding is that a very small percentage of the people who vaccinate actually requires oxygen or hospitalization or ICU. The number is near to zero, unless you're really old and you have a pre-existing condition. So this is what I try to say. So coming back to Project Veritas, this revelation about your antibodies is better than vaccination is a scientific fact. There's no argument about this. The main problem is that these scientists, they are not allowed to talk about this. They are not allowed to tell people that that's the case because it's bad for business. Because they are trying to sell the vaccine, they are earning ridiculous amount of money from vaccines, and of course you're not going to tell your potential customers that if you catch COVID and not die, you're going to have antibodies better than vaccination. You're not going to do that. And the truth is, even if you catch COVID, you can catch it a second time even if you recovered on your own, and it could be worse than the first time. So anyway, take it any direction you want. It's your own body, it's your own choice. You calculate your own risk. In Singapore, there is vaccine passport. So if you are not vaccinated, you can't watch movies, you cannot go to restaurants, you probably cannot go to events. you're going to have you can still don't take vaccines in Singapore. It's still up to your choice, but your life is going to be so difficult. I'm not sure in the future when when things open up further. I'm not sure if they still going to continue to use the passport. Uh, Maybe next year they might still be using it, depending on how much they want to relax the rules. But vaccine passport is in Singapore, and I took my vaccines for the safety of my family and for myself. So because I cannot be seriously sick. So if I'm seriously sick, my family will be in deep trouble. So however, that being said, vaccines is immensely safe. Immensely. The amount of side effects, that means serious side effects. I'm not talking about like dizzy and fever and weak fatigue. These side effects are nothing. These are common for any kind of vaccine, but I'm talking about serious side effects. For example, blood clots and heart attack, all the sort of very serious reactions is tremendously rare. It's very, very rare. So it's your choice to whether to want to have this precaution. My mother-in-law, who passed away from the COVID complications, is not vaccinated. She was worried about the side effects of vaccines, and now she died from COVID, essentially. So it's your choice. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can put it. It's your choice. So if you don't want the vaccine, it's perfectly fine. I think from what I understand, on the good note, therapies are now available. So if you become COVID positive, you can recover really fast. So it's called cough. What is it called? Regen cough. This is approved by FDA. It's also approved by Health Canada, and it's actually approved by Singapore as well. So Singapore is actually depend a lot on this now. So you can check this out. This is a medicine for COVID. So if you are tested positive, this one at the moment is going to only give it to people, at least in Singapore, it's only going to be given to people who are likely to have severe complications from COVID. For example, you need oxygen supplement or whatever. Maybe due to pre-existing condition, you have diabetes, you have lung problem, heart problems, or you are very old. Then they will issue this medicine to you if you are positive, and this will prevent you from having severe COVID disease. So this is a good point. So in a way, at this current juncture, if you are not vaccinated, you are not unprotected. But make sure that you have this in your country, in your region, in your hospital. I'm not sure how widely distributed is this. Singapore is going to get their distribution this month. I'm not sure if they got it yet, but looks like Singapore is going to depend largely on medicine now, therapeutics, to fight COVID. So vaccines is just temporary. It's just to prevent the deaths, which is why Singapore have the least number of deaths in the world. And it's not just because of vaccine, but it's also because of like draconian laws and restrictions. So anyway, it's another of these boring topics that I know none of you really want to listen about. It's really boring, but it's something that I think is important to talk about. So this revelation, I think, is shocking, maybe in America, because of the vaccine mandates and all these crazy politics around the vaccines and the virus. But scientifically speaking, it's not shocking at all. Natural immunity is better than vaccination, but that's if you survive and you gain the immunity. So that's the key. You must survive COVID, then you have this stronger natural immunity. Is you don't get it before, you get it after. So if you die from COVID, then it's pointless, right? So yeah, so get the vaccines, be protected, catch COVID after you get vaccine, and you probably don't need to worry about COVID much more ever again. Bye bye. Oh yeah, subscribe and like the video. Thank you.